What's going down, everybody? It's your boy, That Guy My High, tuning back in for another reaction. This time we got the Dubai police force will blow your mind. I mean, everything that goes down in Dubai at this point, I feel like it's some wild, dream-esque type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like you see the pictures, the videos, Dubai is beautiful, bro. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's like right in the middle of like a whole lot of desert and a whole lot of water, and it's just kind of like smack dab there, you know what I mean? But yeah, Dubai, I would love to go to Dubai. You know what I'm saying? The only thing about Dubai is they don't play. Well, the Middle East in general, like they don't play about the herb. You know what I'm saying? I can't get caught with no herbage down there though. You know what I'm saying? You get locked up. You know what I'm saying? You get locked down. Okay. Anyways, but before we jump into that, man, we gotta give a big shout out to all of our members: Gary Willis, My Hood Life, Nugget, Liz, Amy Jane Doe, Lynn, Driver Stotts, Lynn Willow, Misty Summers, Mama Dukes, Taylor, Aaron, Casey, Girl Token Tug, Nicole, Ryan, Carrie, Creatively Insane, Nick, Tammy's, and Diesel Fuel. Whew. That was a lot. I was stumbling through that whole thing. If you guys want to get a personal shout out by your boy, think about hitting that join button down below. If not, just hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, and help us hit 100K. Okay, we on our way. We gonna hit 100K someday. All right. We at this point, I'm just like, hey, one day it's gonna come. One day we gonna hit that 100K. Goddamn it, one day. Anyways, man, let's jump into this, man. Shout out to the Scary Cherry for this video as well.
Where in the world is different to everywhere else. There's no denying that.
Facts. People in Dubai. It's like living on another planet.
And that means things that are normal to you are weird to someone who grew up somewhere else. Normal stuff in Dubai might seem odd to you, so let's dive in. These are 20 outrageous things you'll only see in Dubai.
Exotic pets out there too. Tigers and
Number 20.
And the shit.
Dubai police force uses expensive sports cars as police vehicles. Now, I don't know what kind of vehicles the cops drive where you live.
But I'm actually 100% sure though that some of the cars in the Dubai police force are used for like a spectacle. Like it's meant for events. Like they use it for like show cars essentially that are just dressed up with the police badges and decals and all that shit. But I'm pretty sure they don't actually, you're not about to get pulled over by somebody, a fucking cop driving a Bugatti. Like, that's just not going to happen. I doubt you're going to get pulled over by any of the Ferraris or Lamborghini fucking police officers. I'm like 98% sure that those Dubai supercar police cars are meant for shows and shows only. Like, those wouldn't be effective cars to be driving around fucking doing regular police shit. Like, let's be real.
It's not exactly something relatively standard, if a souped-up version. In the UK, they used fast cars from BMW and Mercedes, amongst others. And in the US, they tend to favor big American makes like Ford, Dodge, and Chrysler. The models vary from state.
See, and that makes 100% like, it makes sense. Like, the reality is out there in Dubai, like they're gonna use what's readily available, what's in the area. Like for us, when we think of BMWs and Mercedes, like that's a foreign vehicle, but for them, that's not. You know what I'm saying? Those are regular cars. Like our American made muscle cars and shit and sports cars, like they're foreign cars to them. So that makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, it doesn't seem weird to me by any means. It would only seem weird because I'm not accustomed to it. But when you kind of think about it logically, you're like, oh, it makes way more sense than not.
State and which aspect of policing that they're used for. This all seems kind of standard, really. Police driving vehicles that are modern and well-equipped with the kinds of engines that can generally perform pretty effectively when required to do so.
Yep. Ooh, look at that McLaren.
But in Dubai, their police cars will literally outperform almost every other vehicle on the entire planet. So apparently, the Dubai police force will blow your mind with their cars. Now, you're probably getting the idea already. Dubai does everything bigger, shinier, and with a more lavish show of money than anywhere else on Earth. So, of course, their police cars are not only regular.
Look, see, look. None of these cars, you didn't see not one of these expensive ass cars pulling people over. When you see them and they have all the cars parked, like they're in like these little show, like they're on red carpets, motherfucker. Like the fuck, these are not like in used vehicles for actual police duty. You know what I'm saying? These are show cars to promote the police department.
Cars, they're actually supercars. In fact, they boast the Guinness World Record for the fastest police car ever, and that would be the Bugatti Veyron, a car with an average price of close to $2 million, by the way.
And I
the head of Dubai's Police Transportation and Rescue says that the car was not actually intended to be for showing off, because apparently its primary usage is to show tourists just how friendly the police in Dubai are. Yes, that's precisely what 253 miles per hour illustrates: friendliness. Before we go on, like this video, smash the subscribe button, and click the notification bell right now, or this centipede will
I'm gonna tell you now, if a cop pulled up on me in a Bugatti, I'm not taking his ass serious. You're a rich motherfucker with a complex or something. I don't know. I don't think I could take a cop serious in a Bugatti, bro. I think I'll be too like in awe, like, nigga, you driving a Bugatti? How much your salary? You know, I have too many goddamn questions.
On your face when you're sleeping. Number 19, Superbus. Back in 2011, a weird car-bus hybrid would be designed and prototyped by a team from the Delft University of Technology in the Netherlands. This particular combo was seen as an ideal solution to the private vehicle requirements of modern public transport users. And Dubai, well, that was a place to showcase the possibilities of such a type of transport. And so this thing claims to have as much as a supercar, with all the luxurious comforts that you've come to expect in such a vehicle as well. It also has the speed, to a slightly lesser extent given its size, but it can still zip about quicker than your average city bus. The Superbus also has the feel of a limousine, with its separate two-person seating arrangements. Privacy and comfort are no problem. This is certainly no Greyhound. The drawbacks are likely obvious. It can only carry about 23 passengers, about as many as a minibus, but nowhere near the number of a regular sort of bus. The features in its favor aren't to be sniffed at, though. It's designed to travel along a dedicated speed track, allowing the Superbus to reach a speed of up to 250 kilometers per hour, which is a speedy 155 miles per hour. So the days of waiting in traffic would be...
I would not want to go 200 or 150 miles an hour in that right there. I'm sorry. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's one thing to be on like one of them, you know, trains and the little fast train things or whatever, you know what I'm talking about? But hell no, I don't want to be in your goddamn super limo fucking wannabe bus situation that goes 150 miles an hour.
The general idea of the 49-foot-long vehicle is to reduce pollution, improve congestion problems, and offer a greater degree of safety for the discerning, wealthy consumer. And of course, there's the added benefit that you never have to search for a parking spot again.
You couldn't park
Number
that
18,
shit anywhere.
A flying hypercar. This is not actually a flying car per se, although bear with me because we may be getting to those. The trouble with traveling all over the world in your private jet is that when you get to your destination, you then have to go through that whole tedious process of hiring a car. Although I should imagine you have people to sort that out for you, rather than just standing in line at the airport concession with all of us mere mortals.
Bro,
anyways, this isn't...
If you over here talking about, oh, I got private jets and I got personal helicopters and shit, like, you're not driving in the first place, okay? That's not even like in your things to do. You over here got chauffeurs, bro. You drive and roll. You in the backs of Rolls Royces and shit. You know what I'm saying? The backs of Bentleys and Benzes and shit. You know what I'm saying? Maybachs and shit. Like, come on, man.
New and spangly service for those of you who simply can't bear to be parted from your vehicle for even a moment.
Airport. I go through regular airport shit.
The company is known as Emirates Wheels, and it's part of Emirates Sky Cargo's specialized air transportation solution for automobiles, which is exactly what it sounds like, planes that fly vehicles around the world. So you need never be parted from your beloved supercar collection ever again. There are 3 levels of the service, from the basic airport-to-airport option all the way through to the poshest door-to-door versions. The Serve can transport up to 150 cars a month, and rates begin at $5,500 for the basic rate one-way, up to $15,000 for one-way for the high-end option. Mere pocket change, really. Number 17.
That is wild.
World's first gold dispensing ATM. You know how it is. It's late at night, all the jewelers are closed, and you can't get your favorite gold bar out of the bank vault till they open at 9. But you just need to get your hands on some lovely shiny gold. Well, fortunately for you, Abu Dhabi is leading the way in crazy luxe vending machine items, and if you're jonesing for some gold and you can't wait for the shops to open, then they've got you covered. This gold dispensing vending machine is located in the lobby of a fancy schmancy 5-star Emirates Palace Hotel. You'll likely as not need to be generously endowed in the wallet department to stay there, let alone use this crazy vending machine. It contains 24-karat gold bars and coins, for a price of course, but don't despair. The company behind it says that the prices are very competitive, so that's a relief. The Gold to Go vending machine is the first of its kind in the world, dispensing gold bars that weigh between 1, 5, and 10 grams, as well as gold coins. The machine also accepts cash and credit, and it's about 6 feet tall depending on how much gold it has inside. Oh, and it can weigh up to 1,000 pounds, and this is all useful information for the heist that you're definitely not.
I'm trying to figure out what the purpose of, like, outside of the novelty fact and like the, oh my God, I just bought a piece of gold from a vending machine. Like, outside of the novelty aspect of it, right? What is the fucking point? What are you about to do with this gold bar other than go put it in a safe or, like, I'm trying to understand the implication. Are you like, can you go take this gold bar and hand it to somebody and be like, I want whatever? Like, can you buy shit with it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who's just accepting gold these days? Like, I know everyone
planning this very
scuff at gold, but
Number 16. Dubai to build world's first temperature-controlled indoor city. Well, why the heck not, really? Dubai has ski slopes in the desert and air-conditioned bus stops. We'll get to those as well. So obviously, an entire indoor climate-controlled city, well, that just makes perfect sense. There's no plausible reason to consider using less energy these days, after all. The Mall of the World is actually planned to be the world's largest shopping center and is expected to pull in 180 million visitors each year. It will literally be the size of a ruddy city, so that figures. Air conditioning something of that scale seems perfectly sensible. I mean, nobody even goes outside anymore these days anyhow. The proposed mall is a 48 million square foot Goliath, which is designed to...
So you have to go to the mall and stay the night for a week to be able to see the whole mall? Like, what the fuck?
Incorporate some of the cultural elements of other famous places from around the world, like New York's Broadway and London's Oxford Street, and it's designed to house the usual bunch of shops and stuff, but also a whole shed load of theaters, cultural places, and the world's largest indoor amusement park, as well as 20,000 hotel rooms, and something known as medical tourism, which sounds like a party, so sign me up. Number 15. Exotic pets. Like many of the unusual things on this list, owning an exotic or unusual pet was considered a status symbol at one time. Wealthy individuals have had a particular penchant for those expensive and frankly irresponsible ownership of wild animals, and it was not unusual to see wealthy individuals walking their pet tigers on the beach, for example. Although most of the time they probably employed a professional tiger walker for the task. So while it might be standard practice to swan around town in your supercar, you could really increase the fancy factor if you threw in a big cat in the back seat, or perhaps even a cheetah peeping through the sunroof. Mercifully, though, back in 2017, it actually became illegal to own big cats as pets in the UAE. So I'm sorry, but the days of crocodiles in your convertible are over. You'll just have to do like me and settle for your pet guinea pig Twinkle. Oh, I love you, girl. Number 14.
Bro, that is wild.
World's largest indoor aquarium. The thing with Dubai is that, as a country, it likes to have the biggest or shiniest or most expensive version of whatever it could happen to be. Well, why not? I mean, go big or go home, right? In fact, one of their big boasts is that it's the world's largest indoor aquarium. And yes, it has been accredited by the clipboard crew from the Guinness Book of World Records, so it's official. That size is recorded as having a colossal capacity to hold 10 million liters of water, and in that Titanic tank, there are more than 33,000 aquatic creatures from over 200 different sea-dwelling species. That's a whole bunch of sharks, rays, and all the fun stuff. The underwater zoo aspect of the aquarium is located on the second floor of the center, and this is where visitors can expect to find all kinds of fun facts and information about the creatures they've encountered in the aquarium. It's staffed by marine experts and has a range of interactive experiences, as you would expect from a modern, cutting-edge educational center with a massive budget. And so, the Dubai Mall Aquarium, yes, it's located at the mall, and underwater zoo are the brainchild of an Australian design company. If you're a wacky interior designer with lofty ideas and the desire for a sky's the limit budget, then Dubai is the place to get your maddest plans made into reality. This particularly bonkers scheme is really well liked and has achieved a whole load of awards and accolades, as well as the coveted world record. Number 13, $1 million gold car in Dubai. What do you buy for the person who has everything? How about a gold-plated car?
Man.
Seems like an obvious choice, except
People
that
have
it's a
too much
Nissan,
fucking money.
so, well, you know. Anyways, if what you're looking for is literally the shiniest thing imaginable, then this car is just about as shiny as things get. The Nissan R3 GTR, which has been nicknamed Godzilla for some reason, was unveiled in Dubai with the absurd price tag of $1 million United States dollars. The custom paint job is indistinctly unsubtle gold, which has then been engraved with extremely fine details by a Japanese body shop artist named Takahiko Izawa. And although it looks unreal, this car is fully functioning and is powered by a 3.8-liter V6 twin-turbo engine. But you won't see them rolling off the production line anytime soon. This is a one-of-a-kind car which may find a buyer in one of the most car-crazy cities on the planet. They're also kind of into gold in Dubai, if you don't know.
Bro, what would you do? Like, why would you drive it? Like, I know that it's fully functional. I heard him say that. It's fully functional. It can go fast. But would you drive it, though? Like, why would you drive it is the question.
Sometimes that's easy to forget. So, what do you think about this shiny car? If you could dip a vehicle in gold, which one would you choose? What about a Ford Pinto, or perhaps a nice classic Yugo? Number 12. The tallest building in the world in Dubai. Back along, there was often a kerfuffle about which building was the world's tallest. This seemed to be something that many countries aspired to achieve within their borders, and in recent times, however, it would appear that, like all other biggest and shiniest things, the UAE has this area covered as well. The Burj Khalifa is a huge towering structure which has taken the title of world's tallest structure. There are some crazy numbers involved in the existence of the Burj Khalifa. This building is a staggering 2,716 feet and 6 inches tall, so it's no wonder that it's known as a vertical city. It took a total of 12,000 people from across the globe to make this thing. It's clad with 26,000 hand-cut glass panels, and of course, that takes a heck of a lot of cleaning. 3 months to complete, in fact. Number 11. Ski Dubai. Well, this one makes perfect sense. A country that's located smack dab in the middle of the flipping desert seems a super obvious place to locate a ski resort. It kind of stands to reason that rich people, you know, the ones who generally do all the skiing, they'd require a ski slope, even in the most inappropriate place on Earth. The indoor ski slope, called Ski Dubai, is 22,500 square meters of ridiculousness. The whole space has to maintain a temperature of -1 degree to 2 degrees Celsius. And this is the middle of a country where the average annual temperature is in the range of 20 to 37 degrees Celsius. Now, that's all the way up to 99 Fahrenheit. No doubt the energy that's required to keep this constant freezing condition is enough to power a small country. This bonkers place features such delights as an 85-meter-high indoor mountain, which is about the same as a 25-story building, and has a total of 5 slopes with varying difficulties.
We as humans do some dumb things. And that right there, man, that's one of the dumbest.
In fact, they boast to have the world's first indoor black diamond run, if you're into that sort of thing. And just like an outside ski resort, this place is equipped with ski lifts, sled and toboggan runs, and a few extra things, including giant snowballs, climbing towers, and an ice cave. But don't worry if you forget to pack your skiing gear for your beach holiday. You can purchase everything you might require in a nearby store. And if all that isn't sufficiently insane enough for you, why not chuck in a few penguins as well? Yes, there are penguins in the desert. Number 10,
that is the dumbest shit
amphibious
ever, bro.
car
That is
in
so
Dubai.
Stupid.
All the way back in 2014, it was apparently considered big news when Dubai's crown prince went shopping. On that particular occasion, he was purchasing no less than 6 high-speed James Bond-style amphibious cars, as one does, of course. These cars are not actually unique to Dubai. They were actually designed by a California-based company called Watercar, owned by some guy named Dave March. He had already secured his place as an inventor in the fastest amphibian car in the hallowed pages of a 2010 Guinness Book of World Records. There's basically nowhere higher to go after such an acclaim, I'm sure. So anyways,
cool,
the model chosen by the Crown Prince would be
cool.
the then new for 2014 Python. This amphibious vehicle had a 450 horsepower Corvette engine with a top speed of 60 miles per hour on the water. They retailed for just $135,000 a piece, and that's a steal. I just wonder if he got a discount for buying the party pack. Number 9. Flying taxi drones in Dubai. Finally, some futuristic stuff to get all your juices flowing. All that money sloshing around has to occasionally hit on something more than dipping everything in gold or making a massive version out of something. The completely driverless little pods are the latest transport option to grace the residents and visitors of the UAE. The autonomous air taxi is genuinely becoming a reality in Dubai. These flying pods are set for general takeoff by the end of this year and have already been in development, taking flights all over the show for the last few years, with some in use. So a future where everyone gets jetted about midair may be on the horizon in Dubai, but until they figure out exactly how to get everyone to stay in their lane, I think it might be a little safer on the ground. If you can avoid all the speeding supercars that perpetually clutter up the streets, that is. Number 8.
That shows like we're getting closer and closer to the flying technology that will allow us to have flying cars and shit like that and hoverboards and shit. The Back to the Future shit. We all seen Back to the Future and was like, man, I hope that when I grow up, that's how life is, and we've got fucking hoverboards and flying cars and fucking self-tying shoes and shit. All that cool shit. You know what I mean? I mean they have made the self-tying shoes and stuff, but it's not like a everyday, occurrence where you just hop in your shit and it's like, you know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Toilet embedded with 40,000 diamonds.
Why?
Yeah, if there was anywhere in the world that you might expect to find a golden diamond-studded toilet, then Dubai is probably that place. Or perhaps Trump Tower. The world record for the most number of diamonds set on a toilet bowl goes to this crazy creation that would be unveiled at Dubai's amazing museum and art gallery. So, breaking world records is a bit of a mixed bag of skills, and just putting a whole lot of something in one place at the same time. This particular world record falls mostly on the latter category. Frankly, any one of us could cover a Kazi in gold and diamonds, if we had a lot of gold and diamonds to start with, that is, and you'd be forgiven.
This is even dumber than the stupid indoor fucking skiing facility.
For wondering whether this is the absolute best use of these resources. This diamond-encrusted toilet seat is studded with a mind-boggling 40,815 diamonds, which total 334 carats. That adds up to a cool $1.28 million for your toilet bowl. The place where people sit down to take care of business. I mean, you can't even see the toilet when you're sitting on it, so it probably doesn't really matter if it's shiny and gold or even heliotrope for all that actually does for the functionality of this essential item. Anyways, and yet again, this is one of those crazy things that goes to show that there may in fact be a thing as too much money.
Facts.
Number 7. Jumeirah. Now, if you're trying to convince world travelers to come and visit your luxury tourist destination, you really have to offer them something in a selection of beaches. Unfortunately for Dubai, the country is lacking in the natural beach department, but what they lack in sandy seafront, they more than make up for with, well, money. Lots and lots of money. And if there's one thing we all know about money, it's that people with a lot of it can basically do whatever the heck they want.
Yep. Ain't that the fucking truth?
So with that in mind, it's probably no surprise that Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the guy behind most of Dubai's transformations, put in motion the plans for a massive man-made island. This would not only be the biggest on the planet, always a goal in the UAE, it would seem, but also to solve the lack of beaches issue in the process. The result of this harebrained scheme is the Palm Trilogy, or Palm Jumeirah, as it's locally known. This is a group of 3 especially twirly palm-shaped islands featuring a mind-boggling surface area of 46.35 million square meters. That makes it bigger than the city of Paris. It will be able to house over 1 million people, and not just in a regular accommodation, because this is Dubai after all. The spaces will be the fanciest and most luxurious, with multiple beachfronts and endless ways to spend more and more money. Just the way it's all designed to do in the UAE.
Wild to go to.
Number 6. Helipad of the Burj Al Arab. Why just land some boring old helicopter on your helipad when it has the potential to be such a media strumpet? This helipad is apparently the most famous one in the world. Well, it would be now, wouldn't it? I mean, do you know of any others at all? Probably not. That's because it's all utter nonsense. Anyways, they do love to get famous people or even daredevils to do stuff up there on the old helipad and court all of the world's attention. Such publicity stunts as David Coulthard's Formula One car donuts, a BMX biker jumping off of a helicopter, cars being landed, golf being played, and the all-classic attention-seeking silliness. But perhaps the most famous, if it can actually be called that outside of posh sporting circles and bored news reporter types, was the time that they managed to coax Roger Federer and Andre Agassi to get up there and knock a couple of balls about, thus cementing this place in the guidebooks. Such fun, and a legal way to be high on grass in a country where that can land you in very hot water. Located at 650 feet, this is a real challenge for the ball boys and girls that are tasked with retrieving the balls hit out of the court. Sucks to be them, I should imagine, or indeed any unfortunate passerby that might feel the result of gravity of the situation. Number 5. Turtle Hospital Dubai. Well, this one's actually nice. Finally, a use for all of that money that doesn't involve dipping something in gold or encrusting it with diamonds. A turtle hospital. Oh. The Dubai Turtle Rehabilitation Project is based at one of the city's iconic hotels and is run by the Dubai Wildlife Protection Office. It's been up and running for over 15 years and has saved and rehabilitated almost 2,000 turtles in that time. Hawksbill turtles and green turtles are the species that nest in the Arabian Gulf, so these are the animals that find their way to the sanctuary. Oftentimes, they're injured by being caught in fishing nets or from getting the waste from commercial fishing vessels tangled around them. Other times, these creatures can encounter the pleasure boat hordes out speeding about in their fancy yachts and golden speedboats. It's a risky business being any kind of marine animal in the water these days. With pollution and dopey people and garbage at every turn, the hazards are many. So this hospital is doing its important work of clearing up some of the messes that are caused by the overconsumption and underregulated money-making paradise of the free market economy. Tough times for turtles, but at least there are some people who are willing to shell out to protect these beautiful creatures.
Yeah, that's nice. That's probably the most... That's the most, like, humble thing that we've heard on this list.
Dubai abandoned cars. It seems that one of the most mad things about having so much money is that you can just leave your stuff wherever you like and forget about it. Even if that stuff happens to be a whole bunch of fancy sports cars, apparently. In fact, it seems that so many people just leave their supercars in airports and car parks all across the country that it's actually considered an epidemic. Now, seriously, what is going on here? Between 2,000 to 3,000 luxury vehicles are abandoned every single year. So, is this an epidemic of forgetfulness? I mean, we've all done it, you know. You park your car and go back several hours later and you can't even remember where you left it. But frankly, the worst that ever really amounts to is looking on a few different levels of parking structure rather than literally leaving it in a foreign country.
So people are just like, you know, the check engine light came on. Let's drop it off at the airport and go buy a new one. Like, what?
However, the mind does boggle. Number 3, Miracle Garden. The fact that a lush green garden is growing in the middle of the desert is nothing short of a flipping miracle, so this place certainly has an appropriate name. Just how appropriate it is to divert so much water to a project of this kind in a waterless landscape in a country with just 2.7 inches of annual rainfall, well, that's a question for the conscience. Anyways, the Dubai Miracle Garden looks like Disneyland, except that it's basically built out of flowers. This place may look pretty, but it's certainly no friend of the allergy afflicted. This expensive sneeze fest has been open since Valentine's Day of 2013, and ever since then has welcomed around 1.5 million visitors each year. The self-proclaimed world's largest natural flower garden has more than 60 million flowers blooming at any given moment, and changes its exhibitions throughout the year, guaranteeing an ever-evolving experience for the repeat visitor. As much of the stuff available in Dubai seems to be, this place is certainly a spectacle. They've had such delights on display as the life-size depiction of an Emirates Airbus A380 made entirely of flowers. It was bizarre enough to get our old pals at Guinness to come out and bestow it with a world record for the largest floral installation, so you know it was a big one. Those guys don't get out of bed for any old gas station flowers. Number 2, Butterfly Garden. Like literally everything else that's advertised about Dubai, this claims to be one of the biggest, best, and shiniest of its kind. This is the Butterfly Garden, which is exactly as it sounds. And they have really taken the theming to the nth degree. I mean, what else would you expect by now? The gardens themselves are stuffed with frilly butterfly-shaped bushes and multicolored prettiness, all flappy wings and rainbows, you know, like the inside of a unicorn's brain. Anyways, the main focus of a so-called butterfly garden is indeed the butterflies themselves. These are kept in a bunch of domes at the center of the park and contain more than 15,000 butterflies of about 50 different sorts. There's also the heady thrill of a butterfly museum if you still have room for such a smorgasbord of excitements. Number 1, Dubai's air-conditioned bus stops. Dubai,
see, that well, shit
it's
is
a
wild.
gas-guzzling land of cars.
And back in the day when I used to ride the bus, you know what I'm saying, trying to get to where I was trying to go to, that shit would have been nice.
There are 1,000 ways to express your wealth through the vehicle that you drive, so catching the bus is an unlikely scenario for most residents. However, if you do have to take the bus, you know, if your Land Rover and your Lambo are both being polished up or something, then you don't have to suffer the insane desert heat. So lucky you. That's right. Even the bus shelters in the UAE are air-conditioned. Since 2007, public transport users have been able to rest in air-cooled comfort while awaiting their transport. Dubai has 636 bus stops, which are fully equipped with air conditioning. Abu Dhabi is hot on their heels with plans for a whole string of their own chilly facilities as well. Why let a simple thing like the desert sun get in the way of anything?
It's a waste of money, but I mean,
so
it's cool.
Is Dubai the most fun place on earth?
Nice.
Well, no.
Dubai is a wild, wild place, bro. They do, like, it's like I said, it's like being on a whole other planet. Like you go there and it's just everything is just, it's like Texas on steroids. You know, everything's bigger and better. Like, what the fuck? Anyways, man, let me know what you thought about that down in the comments below. What was the craziest thing that you heard on this list? I mean, I feel like we just kept hearing all sorts of wild things, like the toilet. The toilet's probably still the dumbest shit ever, bro. That was so stupid. Ugh. Anyways, y'all let me know what you thought about that in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.